I don't necessarily see it happening this year. Now, if it happens this year, will he have proven to Dallas how idiotic this trade was? For sure. But I think this is more about the future. Next year, 2 years from now, I'm not putting too much on Luka in terms of this year because it takes a while to figure out how to be the best version of yourself as a unit.
I still think he's got a ton to prove. Everybody's going to be watching him. This is the most compelling story right now in the NBA. Not the Thunder, not some of the other stuff that we have been talking about. It's this one right here. This is such a huge trade, obviously, but now it's how does it go from here? What happens from here? How does he fit out in LA with LeBron James? Can he do that? And then, of course, it's the other parts of his game, the conditioning, the defense. You just got traded. You just lost $100 million. You have a lot to prove. Clearly, prove that they made a mistake in trading you. Prove you can play within the ecosystem of LeBron James. There's a lot for him to prove.
In the next two and a half months? That's the only window he has to prove it? The question is, who has the most to prove this particular season?
Yes.
No,
yeah.
See, that's where I think you're wrong.
Out of the gate, he has, well, wait a minute. We were just in a segment where a Dallas Mavericks fan is saying that Anthony Davis is already hurt and nothing, it's never going to work and it's all bad. All bad. They're carrying coffins in Dallas right now.
Yes.
That's how bad it is there.
So time out.
So if he has to prove something in the second half, so does Luka. Luka has to prove that they made a huge mistake.
So time out. Let's go to our Dallas fan. If next year the Lakers are the number 2 seed going into the postseason and make a run to the finals, will you still be upset?
Oh, absolutely.
He don't have to do it this season?
Absolutely.
He don't have to do it right now.
He still has a lot to prove.
It's the most,
Monica, it's the most compelling story in the NBA for the rest of this season.
I will give you
and
all
into the
of that.
playoffs.
I will give you all of that. But when was the last time we saw insert star championship run? It was in the Raptors with Kawhi Leonard. It doesn't happen that quick, is all I'm saying. He got run with it.
But again, when was the last time you saw a player of this caliber being traded mid-season?
Questions here for our NBA squad. And we're going to switch up the questions this time. Monica, the team to beat in the NBA is?
I still think it's the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're just that good. And I don't think that you should sneeze at their, 44-10 record, I believe. SGA's been phenomenal. Jalen Williams had his first All-Star nod. Those role guys coming along strong. Chet Holmgren getting healthy. Isaiah Hartenstein making a difference on their interior defense. The pace they play at and how hard they play on both sides of the floor, I think everybody, that's your bar right now. That's your bar.
Han, the team everyone should be worried about is who?
Denver Nuggets, don't sleep on them. First of all, I know we all get that fatigue with the MVP, but Jokic is still playing the best basketball of anybody in the league. It's indisputable. Jamal Murray's starting to come around now, and that's important. He's such a key piece for them. They've won 16 of the last 20 going into the break. Aaron Gordon healthy is key as well with the defense that he brings. Russell Westbrook off the bench. This team has already won a championship. This team you don't want to face in the first round of the playoffs.
Monica, the Lakers, is it Luka's team right now?
What? No, yes, no, maybe, kind of. I hate this. Like, yo, clearly Luka is here about the future, right? So, yes, LeBron James has empowered him to fit out, as he told us. So, yeah, it's Luka's team. But for real, who's pulling the strings? LeBron James. And that is in terms of orchestrating, working with JJ Redick, but orchestrating, like, the best version of this team's basketball because he has the most institutional knowledge of this group.
Okay, so let's stay in the Luka of it all here. Han got on me last hour talking about the conditioning. He has to get better at that. He's got to be available. So does he, and I'm talking about Luka, does he have the most to prove when you talk about the second half of the season out of all the NBA players?
I don't think so. I don't think so. You make a trade at the end of relax. You're going to get your chance to rebuttal. Calm down. I think you make a trade at...
She gave me mom. That was mom energy right there.
Yeah. Okay, calm down. You make a trade at All-Star break. It's 30 games left. You understand that you have some deficiencies in terms of...
Oh, probably be playing basketball long when we're all gone. It is not Luka's team because it is not his team yet because LeBron James is still there. This is his team. Now, Luka can certainly fit in or fit out or whatever it is that LeBron told him to do. But the bottom line is when LeBron is on the team, it's his team. They have to figure out how to make it work together, and that's going to be a fascinating story to watch.
You know, I thought it was interesting that, but when AD was there, LeBron said, I'm deferring to him. This should be his team. So I guess the question is, who should be the alpha in this team right now?
Again, LeBron's the alpha. If you say something like that in the huddle to a player, that's you letting him know, letting Luka know, go ahead and be you. I'm allowing it. So that's what an alpha does. This is my team, but I'm allowing you to play your way. He will control. This is his ecosystem, and Luka has to figure out how he can play within it.
Who do you think should be the alpha?
we're going to make ourselves sick with this conversation.
Yeah.
Look, I think this is absolutely fluid, right? Sure, in leadership and established tenure, it's LeBron James. But on a night-to-night basis, obviously the future of this thing is about Luka Doncic. So it just really depends on what you're talking about. The leadership, organizational element of this, or who's going to be taking the lead as far as hooping. I think LeBron James is going to lean into the facilitating side of his game, and he's been fantastic at that. Luka, to me, moving forward, is probably going to be the alpha, but it will alternate for sure.
Two of the highest usage players in NBA history. So they're both used to having the basketball in their hands and running it. Now, what they can learn from is what happened in Dallas last year. Kyrie gets there. Kyrie also a high usage player. So the two of them figured out how to work. And a lot of times you'll stagger. Luka will be on the floor, LeBron not, giving him rest. And then Luka can be obviously the main piece out there. But when it's LeBron's team, when he's on the team, it's still his team. And he will decide whether or not Luka, is the man or not in certain situations. But one thing you have to keep in mind, if you're Luka Doncic, pressure's on. Because when things go well, it's LeBron James. When things don't go well, it's on you.
Okay, so what do you think LeBron has to do to make this thing successful?
I continue to empower Luka, probably. I get that this is so fascinating when you look at their skill sets, when you look at the usage, but I just think, simply put, these are two of the greatest basketball players in the league, right? They're going to figure it out. The issue for me around this squad is not necessarily with this pairing, it's about the rest of that roster. And so I think LeBron fully understands. You mentioned his history with AD.
And they lose a game, it's not LeBron's fault. It's going to be Luka's fault. He has to carry that weight. Can he? Can he deal with it? It's going to be so much to watch with him and this team for the rest of the season that he is going to have to prove early on that the Mavs made a mistake and the Lakers are better for it. Of course, over the next 5 years, there's also time for him to prove something. But right out of the gate, the most of any player in the league, him, no doubt about it.
Disagree, and he will not be on my list later.
So when you look at the Lakers, when you look at the Lakers then this season, what do you see for them? You see a first-round exit in the playoffs? You see them guys going all the way to Western Conference?
It depends on who they play, because Luka's not 7 feet. They don't have enough size. They tried to get size. They decided not to make that trade. Coincidentally, they're going to face the Charlotte Hornets and hit right out of the gate. That'll be interesting tomorrow night. But that's legit what they're going to be missing. The wrong matchup could knock them out early if they don't have enough size. But the right matchups, Luka's beaten Oklahoma City. He knows how to play against Lou Dort. Like, there are some matchups that will be compelling because we saw him last year. He was very tough to guard, of course, till he got to the finals.
I don't know about this version of Oklahoma City, but last year's series between those two teams was quite compelling.
Where do you see the Lakers? Ceiling for them.
I'm not into the Lakers this year.
Yeah.
And I think if we look at the standings now, as I look at the teams that are above them in the standings, I see youth, I see speed, I see depth. And so that, to me...
Size.
And size, of course, is counter to what they got going on right now. But I don't think this is about this season at all.
All right. We got much more basketball coming here in this show, but I got some more burning to trade. Are the Lakers Luka's team right now?
LeBron James still alive? He's still playing basketball?